Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Signs 2, the mono-colored sequel to the Celestia original. Stripping out white gives us a stompy-style deck featuring men that get bigger as the game progresses. We've brought along some of the key men from the original, with some cards that serve to help us take it to the opponent from turn 1 until their head explodes. We've brought Pump, some card draw, and some anti-removal tech to keep our men in the fight. They've seen the signs, it's time to get in there. Defend the Rider is a protection spell that we can use to help one of our men avoid being sent to an early grave. It even gives Indestructible, so it's effective against sweepers that only destroy. And at 1 mana, it's easy to keep up a forest, to be able to fire it off when the opponent tries to snipe one of our men. Hemosymbic Mite comes to us from the original deck where it was able to put in some good work. For a 1-drop, it can become a pain for the opponent if we're able to boost its stats and help our men get in for damages. Pawpatch Recruit was brought in as a way to pump our men in the face of removal-heavy opponents. When the opponent hits one of our men with a removal, the Recruit will add counters to any other one of our men. Sure, it can be played out as a 1-drop, but we'll try to play it out for 3 mana to get the Offspring token. Snakeskin Veil is our second anti-removal spell. This one gives one of our men hexproof and adds a counter to boost their stats. It doesn't give Indestructible like Defend the Rider, but in a pinch we can use this for the simple pump it provides. We're playing only 6 protection spells, as experience has shown that to be the optimal number. We don't want to clog our hand with protection cards then have no men to use them on. We're playing Bristly Bill, Spine Sower, or maybe he should be called the Spine Remover. We're not landfall, so Bill is simply here to place his counters on our men and distribute them out so everyone gets a little juice. Once we have the mana to activate his ability, the pump gets doubled, and we can quickly end up with men that can threaten lethality. Frenzied Baloth is another new addition. He comes down for 2 mana and can get in right away for damages. He already has Trample built in, so boosting him up can let us attack right into defenders. As a bonus, he makes our men immune to counter spells, and we'll be able to play most of our cards out against blue opponents once we have him in play. Keen-Eyed Curator is a fantastic 2-drop. His stats are fantastic, and only gets better once we give him some roids. The activated ability can prevent opponents from abusing the grave, and once we have exiled 4 different card types, he gets a huge boost to his stats. Terrasymbiosis is our card draw. Whenever we add counters to one of our men, we draw that many cards. At first it might get us a card or 2, but later in the game we could easily end up drawing 3 cards or more. This even makes our Snakeskin Veil a card draw spell, since it'll add a counter to one of our men when we fire it off. Drix Fatemaker is here as well. He can be warped in and will pump one of our men when he enters. While he is in play, all our men with +1/+1 counters will have Trample. Drix is simply amazing, and it's hard to believe he is just a common, probably the best in the set. Ouroboroid, the tapeworm everyone loves to have. This is our top end. There is nothing else heavier in the deck. While it might seem small for its price, the tapeworm can quickly let our men get huge, especially if we have some pump to make it bigger before its ability triggers. 1 in play is amazing, but 2 or more is a surefire way to make our men bigger than anything on the other side of the table. That can often spell GG's extra cheese. For lands, we're playing 2 Fountainport, the special land that can generate tokens or let us sacrifice tokens for card draw, and 22 forests. We want our mana to enter untapped, and this makes it very simple. We never have to worry about getting a land that enters tapped. Playing the deck is simple, as most aggro decks are. Play out early men and pump them whenever possible. We don't have many 3-drops, so on turn 3, we can play out a 2-drop and another 1 mana card, or hold up one of our anti-removal cards. Bill can put in some work pumping our men if we can keep him on board, and we can keep the pressure up if we're able to get a Terrasymbiosis along with Bill. Against opponents with plenty of removals, our protection spells will be key, as will keeping the mana up to use them. Most of our deck can be played out for 2 mana or less, so shuffler specials are less of a problem than in other decks. It's still not something we'd want to experience, but it should be less of a disadvantage. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is UB Ellen. No, wait, it's Ull. I'm so Ull. We get a 3-lander with a decent mix of cards. We can curve out with this as well as pressure early. Keep your pants on. The Mite is here to show them what's up. They play a Surveil land, the opponent is already behind, and will be sure to take advantage of their slow start. We'll play out Bill, and he can start pumping on our next turn. We'll get the recruit down, and we'll pay for the offspring. This gives us 7 power on board, and the opponent only has a pair of lands in play. The play out a heaped harvest. It'll let them get a land, but does nothing to stop the damages we'll be sending at their face. We'll warp in Drix and pump the Mite. Then we'll follow up with the Curator. We'll swing in. I didn't do the math, but we dropped them down to 1. Had I counted the damages, we could have done that differently and closed the game out this turn. They fire off a board wipe. That's unfortunate, especially after we should have had them on our last turn. Put me down for an oopsie poopsie. They play out a Horn of Plenty. Not only can they gain life from the harvest, but now they can gain a life from every card they play out. They drop in another Horn of Plenty, and that means they can gain 2 life for every card they play out. Making token men to combat their life gain is going to be very tough. And you can be sure I'll be doing more math in the future. We'll make a sushi that we can pump on our turn. Drix will take our sushi up to a 2/2, and we can send it in to knock their life down to within range of our men. They play a green regent, and their cornucopias will gain them a pair of life before the dragon comes down and gains them another 3. Someone travel back in time and tell me to do some math before I mess up that critical turn. Nothing to do but warp in a Drix, and maybe we can build up a team that can get in for damages. They fire off a doppelgang for 2, and they're making copies of their Horn of Plenty and their dragon. The life gain is strong with them, and maybe we should throw in the towel and get another game started. They go up to 30 life, lol. No, wait. They go up to 32 life. We draw one of our tapeworms. It's going in right away, and we can follow up with another Drix. We'll pump the Ouroboroid. Let's hand out these roids like candy. Yes, performance-enhancing candy. We'll send in a pumped-up Drix. If they want to trade, we can trade. They do block up. This is fine, as getting rid of one of their men might save our life. For some reason, they hold up their men even though they could have us dead on their next turn. Maybe that's their oopsie-poopsie. We'll play out a Drix and use the pump on our tapeworm. It's hungry, and it needs to eat. Let's send it. They can't kill off our tapeworm, they can only block up one of our tokens to take it out. And even if they do block up, our men have trample. They block our tokens, and they take some big hits. Damages, bro. Damages. They fire off another sweeper, but this time we have a defend the rider. The rider in this case is the tapeworm. They take Bill out, but that doesn't do much good. We'll play out Drix for a bit more pump. We're not taking chances. Let's be sure we can get as big as possible. No more math disasters. We got them even after our botch and their sweeper. G's. Extra cheese. This is over for tea. No, you're not coming over for tea. My tea is mine, you silly bee. We get a 4-lander with a Mite, a Veil, and a Drix the Freshmaker. This could go bad. 4 lands sometimes means you're in for a lot of land draws. We'll give it a shot. Keep your hopes up. We draw a Bill, that's perfect. Let's play him out and we can get to pumping the team on our next turn. They drop in a youthful Valkyrie, an angel deck then. The old, I can block them, but they can't block me strategy. Our draw is an Ouroboroid. Face-smashing fun in the form of a tapeworm. For now, we'll pump, then send it. They so predictably block the Mite, but we'll pump it with the Snakeskin Veil. We will get the last laugh. They play out another one, but their ability to block is severely compromised. We'll pump Bill up, then play out the Power Worm before we send it. They block up, then blow chunks as they realize they'll be doing nothing but blocking from here on out. GG's. Extra cheese. This is Mummy, I see Geist. He thinks he sees dead people. No, I see dead people. I'm looking at you, bro. We get a 3-lander this time with an alright hand. We're missing a 1-drop, but we do have a Curator in our card draw. Let's try it. Keep your pants on. They whack their way to getting another land. This has to be landfall. We finally meet. We draw a Recruit. Waiting until later to play it out so we can get the offspring might be the way to go. But then we might be able to get in for damages if we get it down now. They play out a Druid of the Cowl, a 2-mana Llanowar elf with a bigger rear end. Let's get in there and see if they block up. If they do, we'll have a surprise for them. I'm sure they want to, but they take the hit. Very well, we'll play out the Curator. Their play is an Elvish Archdruid. We smell what they're cooking, but it's a dish we're sending back. They send it, but we'll block. They have 0 mana, and there's no tricks without mana. We'll drop in our card draw this turn to set us up for our following turns. Any extra cards we draw should help us. Let's get in there. They're likely not going to block with only a 2/2 Druid up as defense. Damages, bro. Damages. They drop in an overweight Smelf Lord, the biggest stats-wise. This could be a problem, and they still have 4 mana. They follow up with an Uprising. They fully expect to be playing out plump men. They even have the original Smelf. They might be cooking, but they're down to 2 cards in hand. We'll warp in Drix. We want to leave mana up for our protection spells. Who knows what they might have in the way of removals. We draw a land, which is fine. That will let us play out Drix for his full price and have mana up for a protection spell. They play out an Elvis Regrower, but they have nothing to regrow. It is a fatty, so they'll draw a card. They drop in another Smelf, and this is smelling very bad. They're going to keep building up until they reach a critical mass, then send the entire fam. Wait, they're sending in one guy. What in the oopsie poopsie is this? We'll pump our boy and block up. No, wait, I said we'll block up. All right, here we go. That's the big lord down and out of the way. We'll Smelf him later. We'll go with the full price Drix this turn. Now that their team was shrunk down a bit, they don't look as frightening. Oh, snap, boys. They send the fam. I don't know if my pants can take it. We'll block up and make trades where we can. We're definitely taking down their other lord. Once we've blocked up, we'll save our Drix from certain death. They poop it and scoop it. Smelf you and your men later, bro. This is your done. It's my done, apparently. I'll give it back to you, bro. The Shuffler special arrives, and we can laugh at it this time. We can play everything in our hand minus the Ouroboroid. Keep We draw a bill, but we'll get in there with our might. It is the tip of the spear. They impending out a black overlord. Reanimator, or maybe even a Una deck, boys. We're going with the baby Baloth this turn. It's hasty, so we'll get in for hits. That's a 5 spot on our second turn. Not bad. Not bad. Also, damages, bro. Damages. They play out their infernal guy. Demon Orzhov, then. Smells bad like a cheap cologne. That's okay, Shuffler. We don't need more lands. We're fine. We'll play out the Recruit. This still leaves us with mana for one of our instants. And of course, we'll get in there. They block the Mite, but this time, the Rider is our Mite. An Annex, what a surprise. Bro might be the only one playing it these days. They even warp in a Halaya for the life gain. But isn't the demon in the Annex life gain and drain already? Bro is allergic to pain. The hour is growing late and we finally draw a third land. Let's play out Bill, and then play our land and pump our Recruit. With our Veil still available, we'll send in the team. Everyone who can go is going in. No holds barred. They decline to block, they take all the damages. What on earth is going on here? They play out a Panda. It's both a bear and a demon. This guy has some tech. Demon lovers, take some notes. We draw another baby Baloth, and it's going in. We'll send the fam. This time I did my math. We'll have 4/3 power attackers, and they have only 2 blockers. That means we hit for 7 damages, but with the Veil we can pump the Mite, and that will make it 8 to the face. They can't block just one guy, they need to block up with all hands on deck. And now we Veil our Mite for that last point of damage. That's GG's, extra cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.